Moving to another country is an adventure. It's a journey of self-discovery, new experiences, and truthfully, for me at least, many hardships. But with those hardships, I gained something invaluable that I wouldn't trade for the world. I gained resilience. You go online and you see these people moving to another country and it looks so fun and exciting and refreshing. But let's not forget that social media is a highlight reel. And every journey, no matter the country, comes with its ups and downs. And the thing is, when you're so far away from home and everything you've ever known in your life, you are forced to choose to sink or swim. You have to learn to adapt quickly at times. And being put in that type of situation will change you. There's no other choice. Living in another country can challenge everything that you've grown up knowing. It can be confronting and refreshing and exciting and shocking all in one. It truly is a roller coaster, and it really is not for the faint of heart. My journey abroad started with me moving here to be with someone else, to see if this long distance relationship could work out long term. It only was supposed to be a 1-year journey. Over a decade later, I'm still here. I've had so many people ask me how I was able to hold my own after moving to the other side of the world and having things go completely upside down, getting my heart broken, and literally having no support system to help me through that breakup. And it really came down to that choice to sink or swim. And I might not have been swimming well, but I kept my head above water enough for me to find land and get back on my own 2 feet. I decided that I wasn't going to let this obstacle stop me from experiencing this journey, even if it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I had come this far and I wanted to see where I could really take it, even if that meant on my own. So I just want to share some things, my feelings, my thoughts on this, hopefully some tips that might be able to help someone else, but also mindset shifts that I had to adopt in order for me to be sitting here today making this video. So when it comes to a support network, I think it's amazing if you do have a support system and you are able to lean on that, throughout the journey. But that's not the case for everyone, so I know that's not realistic. It wasn't the case for me. One of the mindset shifts I had to adopt was just being able to hold my own, have my own back, and be okay with the season that I was in, even if it was a winter season or a hard season. Even if I was in it alone, I had accepted that, and I didn't know how long I was going to be in this season, but I knew that it wasn't going to be forever. I think this lesson of learning to have your own back, learning to be able to hold your own when life doesn't feel good, when things aren't going your way, when no one else is rooting for you, I think that is just such a powerful lesson for life. Another thing is immersing yourself within things, putting yourself out there. And this is uncomfortable for a lot of people. I know that it was for me. I like going out and enjoying other people's company. I have my introvert side as well, but I do enjoy social time. And so I had to put myself out there at a time where I was just feeling vulnerable. I had no support here. I was going through a breakup. My family, no one really knew I was going through the breakup for a while. So I truly was going through it alone, not just because I was in another country and didn't have a support network, but no one even knew. So it wasn't like I was having conversations with my friends long distance going through it. I hadn't told anyone yet. So I was going through that, and I chose to still put myself out there. And this didn't happen right away. I just think that there comes a point where you have to start putting yourself out there. You have to start immersing yourself in new situations and trying new things. It can help build your character. It can help solidify your boundaries. And it just helps you learn more about yourself and the world. And I think that when it comes to those character building situations, they aren't always the most feel good kind of things. They feel stretchy. They feel like it's a real push out of your comfort zone most of the time. And learning to embrace that and knowing that I'm going to be okay. I am trying something new. If it doesn't go to plan, that's all good because I'm going to find my feet eventually. So get out there, try a new workshop, try a new class, go to a meetup, take yourself out to the movies, even if you're on your own. I just feel like those situations allow you to really reflect and they just bring you so much, but you have to allow yourself to embrace it in order to receive anything beneficial from that experience. I just think doing things on your own and putting yourself out there is one of the quickest ways to build resilience. And of course, like, things are never going to go perfectly. Like I said, no matter what country you live in, things are not going to go perfectly. So I think it can be so beneficial to just shift your perspective when it comes to adversity in your life. And I think that this can be really hard for a lot of people, especially if you've been nurturing habits that are putting you in victim mode and looking at the world like, why me? Why is this happening to me? Why does this always this? Why? When you're focusing too much on the why, it prevents you from being able to focus on the what or the how. And I think that those questions are so much more powerful and so much more beneficial for you in all areas of your life. How is this helping me in my life? What can I take away from this experience? How could I have reacted differently? How could I have approached this differently? The how and the what are so much more constructive. Less of the why and more of the what and the how can change the game. Why can't I make friends easier? Why can't, like, it's just so draining because you're just basically sitting in a pity party with yourself. And when you're asking yourself the how and the what, it helps you start solving problems instead of just having a pity party for yourself, because that's not going to get you anywhere. Of course, I do think it's important to feel all emotions on the human emotion spectrum. I think it's important to allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, process it, and move on, and then get into the what and the how. Like, let's move forward. Let's work towards getting to where we want to be in life instead of dwelling on where we are, okay? So just like shifting that perspective when you're in the thick of it, of course, easier said than done. Just starting to look for the lessons in the circumstances that you find yourself in. I am telling you, that kind of thinking forces you to level up into this elevated, stronger, you can't be fucked with kind of energy. And for me personally, just having routines, creating routines, exploring routines. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to fall in love with this routine and it's going to be my routine for the rest of my life, but allowing myself to explore different things and pouring back into me, pouring my cup, filling my cup. And I had more than enough time to do this because I had no one, okay? So I just started pouring into me. You know, creating a routine, trying different habits, seeing what other people were doing and trying to apply it to what I could do for me and what worked best for me and what made me feel good. Like, tap into your selfish era. You know, it's about you now, okay? What makes you feel good? I just think, especially if you are in this season alone, your habits and routines and the self-care you do is everything in this season. In other seasons, of course, as well, but especially in a season like this. Those testing, challenging seasons. Use it as a chance to explore new habits, routines, and self-care practices. Find ways to enjoy self-care and pouring into you and treating yourself like someone that you love. Learn how to be comfortable in your own company. I'm just so big on this, and I feel like it can piss some people off because it forces you to really have to like sit with yourself, and some of us out there aren't willing to do that because it's uncomfortable at times, because you truly like start to see the things that we've just been avoiding in our day-to-day. It's easier to not sit in my own thoughts. It's easier to just sit there and scroll mindlessly so that I don't have to feel or think about the things that are weighing in the back of your head, the things that you don't want to confront. I used to take myself on little lunch dates. I used to go and people watch with some snacks by the river. I used to take myself to the movies, and that was a big one for me because I was so in my head about like what other people would think about me being at the movies by myself. Oh my God, what a loser. And then I just did it, and I got myself a big old popcorn, and I remember feeling like this is the best thing ever. Like, why haven't I done this? I need to do this more. I was like, I don't have to share my popcorn with nobody. I get to enjoy all of this. Like, I can pick the candies I want. I just felt like I felt spoiled. And No one did that for me. I did that for myself. It's one of the memories that still vividly sticks out to me during that season I was in. It is something that I am officially adding to my to-do list for 2024. I'm going to take myself out to the movies and just enjoy it. And it's going to be great. It seems so simple, but I feel like it's so powerful because it's something so many people are not willing to do, especially if you are someone that thinks it's weird or are so worried about what people think that you won't do it for yourself. I challenge you to do it if you feel that way, because what you gain on the other side of putting yourself in that situation it's wild. Like, again, I think you have to go in with that mindset to take something from this. If you're going in with a closed mind, this sucks, and negative self-talk, of course, you're not going to get anything from it. But if you really allow yourself to be there, be present, reflect, take what you can from this and take the lesson in the circumstances, I just feel like it can be so powerful. And that sounds like ridiculous. That sounds like if someone had told me that back then, I would probably be like, oh, okay, like that's a bunch of woo-woo. Take yourself to the movies. Yeah, it was just a game changer for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, okay? It is what it is. The more I started to do things on my own, to pour into myself, to create habits that I loved, to explore new habits, and just show myself what I was capable of, I felt better mentally, physically, emotionally. I just was happier. And that just felt really good. One of the biggest things, though, that I think will help you when it comes to being a more resilient version of yourself is just getting super clear on who you are and what you want out of this life. Where you're headed and having a clear picture of what that looks like for you. What you're working towards and staying focused on that. With strong boundaries and being committed to creating a life that makes you feel fulfilled and happy and gives you purpose. When you're focused on that, all the other crap you're going through in that moment, it can only bring you down so far. I just feel like once you have that and you're locked in and you're working on yourself, you're doing the things, you're standing on your own 2 feet. You got to this point after everything that life has thrown at you, and you're still standing here working towards the life that you want. Because it doesn't matter what has happened up until this point. What really matters is what you do with the time that is ahead of you. Get clear, get intentional, and go after what you want in life unapologetically. The thing about resilience is that no one can ever take that away from you. It's not a gift that is given from another human. It is something that is earned by real challenging life experience. And not everyone is lucky enough to find that version of themselves. If you choose to lean into the parts of your life that are asking for your resilience, I believe it's an opportunity for you to step into a kind of mental strength, self-discovery, and self-assurance that most people won't ever experience in their lifetime.